football, the world's biggest and best sport. The majority of countries around the world has football as their #1 sport, and that is the case here with the United Kingdom. And there's often a debate to say which league in the United Kingdom is better, and that obviously narrows it down to Scotland versus England. The people of England often call the SPFL a tin pot league, and the people of Scotland often call the BPL a foreigners league, with the amount of money they have to bring in foreigners. Now some of you might be thinking, well, it's obviously England, the quality of football is much better, but I'm going to look into more in depth than that. I'm going to look at what makes a good football league. Now I've narrowed it down to 5 factors. Number 1, the quality of football. I think it is to say without a doubt that England has got this one. The Barclays Premier League has some of the best talent within world football and often loan players out, the players who aren't quite good enough to get into that league, into the Scottish League. I think it's without a doubt that England has the better quality of football than Scotland. But just a wee side note to argue that these days teams in Scotland wouldn't really stand a chance against the top 6 in England, being Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City and Manchester United. But apart from those top 6 teams, the 7th team who was best in the English League last season was Burnley, and they failed to qualify for the Europa League, just beating Aberdeen, whereas Rangers and Celtic both qualified for the Europa League. I know comparing the 7th team in England to the 1st and 2nd team in Scotland just kind of proves the point of the quality being better. There's just something to think about, that the English League isn't really that far ahead in terms of quality. Factor number 2, competition at both ends. Now obviously if one team is running away with the title every single season, it's not that entertaining to watch. And that has often been the case in Scotland since Rangers did get liquidated back in 2012. Celtic have been running away with the league. It is a different case this season however, with Rangers and Celtic both tied on points at the time of this recording. I think it's fair to say that the bottom end of each table is relatively contested each season, so we'll look at more going for the title. But if you look at English football in the past 3 seasons, Leicester, Chelsea and Man City all ran away with the title. Obviously Leicester being a fairy tale story, it probably gives it the edge on that one. Celtic have completely ran away with it for the past 7 years, so I think that's another point to English football. There's more competition for the title. Even when it's tight in Scotland, it's only Rangers and Celtic. Factor number 3, the fans. There has been legends out there like Gianluigi Buffon who have said that Ibrox has one of the best atmospheres that he has played at, and to say that for Scottish football is a big thing, because Scottish football often gets looked down upon. But then when you see things in English football that it doesn't even compare to that, in fact it completely proves the point of better fans in Scotland. You see things like this, Man United scoring a goal and Tottenham fans taking a picture of the Man United player celebrating. Also, the other way about, Man United players were wanting picture with Lucas Moura after he scored against them after the match. Although there will be fans in England who are really passionate about their team, too many of the English fans are plastic. Even Lacazette, who plays with Arsenal, did say that in England compared to France, they are more spectators rather than supporters. So I think that point easily goes to Scotland. Factor number 4, the youth talent. Chelsea, being one of the biggest teams in English football, has one of the biggest youth systems in the world. How effective is it? What do they actually do with those players? They loan them out, almost never to be seen again. Lucas Pizon has been sent out on loan every single season since 2012 from Chelsea. He's not been given a single chance. Same with Kevin De Bruyne, who was let go by Chelsea. Germany then built him up and he was moved back to Manchester City. Paul Pogba with Manchester United was sent away, not rated as a youngster, and then brought back to Manchester United because Italy made him. At the weekend, Arsenal versus Chelsea, there wasn't a single English player who started the game. Aaron Ramsey being the only British player who started that game. But if you look at the Old Firm, 29th of December 2018, which just happened, Rangers had 5 Scottish players, 9 British players, and Celtic had 6 Scottish players, 7 British players in their starting lineup. And there's players in the Scottish League like Ross McCrory, Kieran Tierney, Cochrane with Hearts, all coming through, all given a chance for first team football. It doesn't happen very often that an English team builds up a youth player and plays them in their first team consistently. So for that reason, and for many of the reasons I've just said, that point also goes to Scotland. Now on to the final factor, factor 5. How enjoyable is a game? You know, the quality of football, which is obviously brought in by a lot of money in England, does play a factor in how enjoyable a game is, but it's not always the better the quality, the better the game. I've saw amateur games that are really good to watch that I would rather watch than some professional games out there, but that's maybe just because it's up close and personal. But in the SPFL 2017-18 season, the average goals to game ratio was 2.61, and the average goals to game ratio in England last season, well, BPL, was 2.68. So it's fairly the same, but I think it's a very difficult one to choose. Obviously, quality does play a part in it, but it's very difficult to make a call, and I don't want to sound biased or deluded by whatever decision that I make. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys. If you want to comment down below, which league do you think's better, SPFL or the BPL? So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you would like some more of these videos, then please do leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye.